This is a woman who's 43 years old, and she worked as a registered nurse in an intensive care unit. She'd been very successful as a nurse for several years, had been promoted to nurse manager, and then began to feel like there was just too much going on. She had a daughter who was 15, who had been diagnosed with ADHD about a year earlier and responded well to medication, but Ruby, the mother, had no previous history of ADHD in her earlier years. And this is an instance where we saw a problem that our group has done research on, and that is that we have found that there are a number of women, mothers of kids who had ADHD, who are coming in, and when we go through the checklist with them about the symptoms for their kid, they'll say, I didn't have this problem when I was in school, but it seems like I'm having a lot of trouble with my short-term memory, a lot of trouble getting organized and get it started, and then being able to make things work. And now on top of that, things are getting a lot worse at school since I have to be the nurse manager and not just taking care of a few patients. And what we've learned in those studies was that there is a phenomenon among many women in the perimenopausal period where the estrogen drop creates a problem because estrogen is one of the primary modulators for the release of dopamine in the female brain. And in this particular case, if you take a look, Ruby is reporting that she's having a lot of trouble getting started on things. She's having difficulty sustaining focus. She's working hard and putting out the effort, but is just feeling overwhelmed by it and is feeling like her memory is giving her a lot of difficulty. We've published 3 papers now that are available on my website about women with perimenopausal women who report no previous history of ADHD until they hit menopause. And then they start showing a profile. They don't necessarily hit all of these clusters, but in this case, she was feeling overwhelmed at work by symptoms that were typical of ADHD, and not because she'd had it all her life, but rather because she was in her menopause and the estrogen level had dropped significantly for her.